Now, during the 16th and 17th centuries, world religion started to spread and revitalize itself in order to adapt and alter to the new, changing world. And now, as one have learned, history is a relationship of causes and effects. And in these religions were the three world religions: Christianity, Islam, and Buddhism, each of them having traits similar to one another in the aspects of adapting to local religions, in being appealing towards a lower level of citizens as well as higher level of citizens, or universally appealing, and also being a universal religion by allowing conversions into them. Christianity revitalized or changed itself to renew the early church, to fight with heresies, pagans, and witchcraft, and to make people evangelical. Godly lights now set out to re-Christianize Europe as an effort to renew the early church, to make a new church on top of the old one. They wanted to make the new church or re-Christianize Europe in order to fight with the heresies, pagans, and witchcraft, which in Christendom are considered satanic forces, and as a Christian, their main aim is to rule out evil forces. The countryside of Europe, it was in the world of demons and spirits, which made them key targets to the revitalization and to the evangelical actions. The other aim of the revitalization of Christianity was to make people evangelical, and the people that held positions in church saw it as their job to take on responsibility and spread the word, which is an emphasis on missionary actions. And the effects of the revitalization of Christianity were howsoever many. New religious orders such as dancing being banned from church, the disapproval of gambling, the disapproval of getting drunk, and no to bullfighting on Sundays were new religious orders, or examples of new religious orders that came out during the revitalization period. Different devotions and views started to come across. Jesuit, whose views laid foundations for the Reformed Catholic religion, have had missionaries that became the most effective in Europe and in the wider world, along with nurseries of science and scholarship. Martin Luther and Calvin, who had opposite views, are another example of the different views and devotions that came out because of the revitalization of Christianity. And as an effect to the revitalization of Christianity, there was more social control by the church, restrictions on beliefs, and accepting different types of people on different levels of social classes. Islam spread in order to advance in spirituality, and they spread across Asia and Africa, using both merchants and missionaries in order to spread Islam. And its religion was able to adapt and alter native religions in order to attract more believers. They did this through Sufi missionaries. Sufis are mystics, and they targeted people at a low level of the social class scale in order to attract more peasants. They also were able to wage jihad, which is holy war. They waged it against the Spaniards in Mindanao, and the expansion of the Islamic world often depended upon the aggression of sultans, especially from the central Java. The expanding of Islamic influences also played a huge role in revitalizing and spreading the religion of Islam. Intermarriage was able to allow Islam to advance. Arabs from Western Africa often married daughters of a holy man as an advance guard for Islam. There were also Islamic schools for literacy. Then these schools, Islamic children often acquired a certificate with a long list of name of teachers or great teachers that taught them about their own religion. These schools also allowed children to fully understand the writing styles of the Quran. The third world religion is Buddhism. Buddhism, their main aim was to popularize Buddhism in China and Japan, and it was done so by making it being able to be practiced at home, not requiring a priest. It is also able to adapt and alter according to native beliefs, which is a trait that was shared similarly with the Islamic religion. An example being the Mongol culture was altered in order to convert them to Buddhism. And to also strengthen the political control at Mongolia and Manchuria was also one of the other reasons why Buddhism was revitalizing itself. And the effects of the revitalizations were often what enabled them in order to spread. There were no more requirement for a priest to lead them, which convinced multiple people in China and Japan. There were simpler rituals being done in order to attract more believers, and there was more of a direct connection of religion through meditation, and that was done by recovering old religious texts. And newer monasteries were built throughout Asia in order to attract more merchants and traders along the Eurasian area. Next is Black America, which is just another term for religion of the black people in America at the 16th and 17th centuries. One thing which is very unique was that they were often and always different from the religion of the white people. Now, the Black America was an influence of Protestantism and Catholicism, and had often contained religious art such as the white Judas in hell, which is often because of their slave ownership and various matters and so forth. Catholicism was different from white to black because masters separated slaves from the mass on account of their smell, but mainly to keep them away from radical clergy. And this caused a difference between the black religion of Christianity and the white religion of Christianity. They often mixed the African beliefs along with Christian beliefs, creating somewhat of a mixture of the two. But missionary activities began in early 16th centuries in Brazil, and as a result, the African religion still persisted. And as I had mentioned before, after slaves had learned the Christian belief, they mixed it with the African beliefs, which caused syncretism. White America, or the term for the religion of white people in America, had a future of enthusiasm, meaning they took their religion really seriously. Why? They took their religion really seriously because of religious persecution that they had suffered when they came over to the New World. And the most extreme form of this enthusiasm was millenarism, which is religious fervor in the Americans. It was introduced by Franciscans into the New World and was considered as a heretical act towards the outside world. And new beliefs such as Anabaptism came into play, Anabaptism is a term standing for baptism at the age when one is considered an adult. And there are also multiple thoughts and actions towards Christ's second coming was nearing, or so they thought. Another religion that came into action during the 16th and 17th centuries was whatsoever a mix of the Islamic and Hindu traditions. This occurred in India, and this religion is called Sikhism, or being a Sikh, which is founded by Guru Nanak, who asked the question that who should I follow, the Hindus or the Islams? Well, I want to follow, and answered his own question by saying that he wanted to follow the path of God. This religion was created to the cultural diffusion of Hindu and Islam, and it blended the beliefs of the Hindu and Muslim traditions together in order to make the so-called religion of Sikhism. Sikhism, however, received somewhat of a midpoint view from both religions of Hindus and Muslims, and it caused them to be thrown out of from their own land by Dara Shiko's brother, who was in Islam. But a Sikh prince seized the city of Jodhpur and burned down Islamic existence there because of Dara Shiko's brother's actions, and also did not support the Islamic point of view. In conclusion, or in summary, the 16th and 17th century brought forth the revitalization spreading of religions, especially focused on the three world religions that was covered earlier: Christianity, Islam, and Buddhism. And the reasons of why these religions often revitalize itself was in order to be able to adapt and alter to the changing world. It was also to renew and change older beliefs in order to bring out new ones, and in order to attract more and more followers. Buddhism and Islam wanted to popularize their religion and also advance in spirituality. This was enabled through the fact that many of these religions were now being able to be practiced easily without having the need to go somewhere or to have a priesthood type leadership. Allowed these religions to now be easier to follow, more easier to follow, more people to be attracted to the religion. Also, New religions such as Sikhism started to come through as a result of cultural diffusion, which also caused competition among former religions that used to exist. The 16th and 17th century was a time period in which revitalizations of religions and the spreading of religions caused multiple different